These are the notes, around 50 to 60 page notes of tribal anthropology. And similar is for Indian anthropology. So around 100 to 125 pages for paper 2. And paper 1 is a bit lengthy. So around 150 was not a bouncer question because that was a question asked by Karan sir in one of the tests. So that was not a bouncer question for me. So I watched the test discussion video of that test. See, you have to attempt 19 questions, and they cannot be in a monotonous language because you might be well aware. Like for example, I said I had a handy definition of a scholar in some questions, while in some others, whatever experience I have had with Level Up in the test series program, after 2023, when I came out of exam, I had one regret that why I did not join the test series program last year in 2022. It might have helped me score better in the last. Secular trends. Basically, I have introduced the definition. Like I have in the introduction, I have directly given the definition of secular trends.
First of all, to this webinar. And we will shortly be inviting Gaurav Sir, who will be sharing his strategy. As you know, we all have gathered this evening to talk to him about anthropology and about his attempt, his strategy, his journey. So we will do everything. I just want to inform all of you that you can see yourself that you all right now, and I would request you to ask your questions in the chat group, but we will ask these questions from Gaurav sir later. First we will allow him to he share his strategies. He'll be talking about his experience, his strategy about anthropology, and then you will be asking your doubts and I will be sharing your doubts with him. So this is how we will proceed. Shortly, Gaurav sir will be joining us as he's stuck somewhere. He'll be joining in 5 minutes more. Yes, so before Gaurav sir joins in, I just want to know, like, are you all giving this 2024 wala attempt, or you are preparing for 2025? First, let me about those who are giving 2024 attempt. Okay, I can see some of them are giving 2024 attempt, some of them are giving 25. Okay, so I can see it's a mixed batch of students. So some of them would be preparing for 2025 and some of them are 2024 aspirants. Okay, so we can ask Gaurav prelims also. I will be asking the strategy and some questions related to the prelims which is approaching. So I hope जो 2024 में prepare कर रहे हैं अभी जो attempt देंगे उनका preparation काफी अच्छा चल रहा होगा. And I wish all of you all the best because काफी थोड़ा time बचा है अभी prelims के लिए. Okay, it's 25. So I can see Gaurav sir has joined. Gaurav sir, am I audible to you?
Yes, you're audible. Am I audible?
Yes. So very good evening, Gaurav sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, we are very happy for you. Like, congratulations, first of all, for achieving this great rank. So I just want to introduce Gaurav sir. Gaurav sir has achieved All India rank 174 and he achieved this rank in his third attempt. Sir has been working in IB, ACIO, and he has done his BTech from DTU. So sometimes we say that the virtues like consistency and persistence, they are more important than your perfection. And if someone is aiming for the top, the virtue of being consistent is must. So for Gaurav sir, this quality and these virtues like consistency and persistence, ये बिल्कुल अच्छे से match करती हैं because he has been so consistent in his preparation and in his previous attempt, as we've seen that Gaurav sir in his mains and anthropology specifically, he scored 230, and the score that he has got this time, it was 300. So 70 marks का improvement अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़ी achievement है anthropology में. So very congratulations sir for that and specifically for your rank.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Sir, I would like you to introduce yourself more, like to our students, those who have joined.
Sure. My name is Gaurav Uppal. I've secured an All India rank of 174 in UPSC CSE 2023. My optional was Anthropology, in which I've scored 300 marks this year. I was a student of Anthropology test series program at LevelUp for the year 2023. And, with my own efforts as well as with the help, value addition of with the help of Karandeep Sir, I was able to attempt this year's exam better and score good.
Okay, sir, since very few days are left for the prelims also, and we can see there are students who will be appearing in 2024 also. So, what advice would you want to give to those who will be giving their prelims now, like in 2024? How did you handle the kind of anxiety that all the aspirants have? Because थोड़ा ही time बचा है, तो आपने कैसे इस time को utilize किया था? And what advice would you want to give to those who are in this, who are going to appear now?
My advice will be threefold. That first, attempt as many mocks as you can. Like that was my strategy because that will help you analyze what is the ideal number of attempt for you, as well as you will develop that muscle power to make that intelligible guess we talk about in prelims. Like we have eliminated two options and then you have to choose. So that will develop when you will constantly practice. Second,
Yeah.
don't run behind current affairs. They don't give as much ROI. If you have thoroughly read the newspaper throughout the past year, if you have covered the yearly compilations, that would be enough for you to answer the questions. So what you have to do is you have to focus on the basics more. So if you will cover your notes or the standard books as many times as you can before the prelims. So even if the prelims is difficult like it was last year, but that basic knowledge will help you convert that knowledge into applied knowledge. That will help you solve the questions. So even you will be able to answer the easy questions if you have if your basics are strong, and also you will be able to apply the knowledge. Third is to be calm and have confidence in yourself. So that is the threefold advice I would like to give.
So we at LevelUp IAS, we are so proud of you. Like you've achieved this great rank. So I just want to ask, how does it feel? Like after getting the result, what was your reaction, and what was the reaction of the whole family when they got to know that you've achieved the rank and finally this dream has come true? Because seeing your name in the holy list is itself a great achievement that we all aspire for. Those who are aspiring also. तो आपका reaction क्या था?
Definitely, one does not know whether his or her name is going to come up in the list. So that is very uncertain. But we always try to have our name in the holy PDF.
Yes.
So I was in my office uh, when the result came. Actually, we were all anticipating that result will come on Monday or Tuesday. So I was prepared for that. I was a bit nervous also on Tuesday, not on Monday. So then finally around 120, 125, the result came and I searched my name and there were like two search options. Like they were one out of two found. I was able to see. And then I scrolled down and then I saw my name, but I was not able to see the rank. Then I left slide the screen and then I saw my rank and then I was like, okay, I'm into services now. I'll get IPS or most probably at best rank. Then I rang my parents that I have achieved and they were also very happy, emotional. So it was a very very
Yeah, because
precious moment.
it's the dream. It's not only your dream, I believe. The whole family dreams together in this preparation. And all those who have mentored you also, they would also be dreaming for you to get a good rank. So everybody wishes good luck to you, right? So I think it's a great achievement, I would say. Since you mentioned that आप उस time पे you were working, और हमको पता भी है you were doing job also and then preparation also. So how did you manage both these things? And आप job के साथ prepare करना कैसे उसके लिए क्या planning होनी चाहिए?
Preparing the job demands a lot of discipline and a lot of vigor. First of all, that you have to be very passionate about it, that you want to crack this exam, and so that is the first and foremost thing. Actually, not my whole preparation has been with job. So what I would like to clarify is that my initial year, like the first base year, that was the foundation year for GS and optional. So
Mhm.
that was without job. That was a full time preparation. I was working earlier in corporate sector. I left that job and then I started preparation. But initially, when I was not able to clear the prelims, and also when I felt that okay, I have like my base is sufficiently strong, my basics are covered, and then I
Mhm.
started looking for opportunities. I filled some forms, and fortunately, I cleared those exams as well. So I then decided that I should join it. So first job I joined was after my first mains in 2022.
Mhm.
So at that time, I had given my first mains without job. So but still I was not able to clear it.
Okay.
So then when I was not able to clear the mains, I was working full time during my training. I was not able to give as much time to the preparation, so there was a bit of gap. But after March, when I finished my training over there, and when I like got my posting, so
Mhm.
then I started again, restarted my preparation with full vigor along with the job. So that time I just started preparing for prelims directly in March, and same thing I followed because I had limited time as well as too
Mhm.
much on the plate, like along with the job. So my only strategy at that time was to give as many mocks and revise as much basics as I can. So that fortunately helped me clear the prelims this time. I scored 101 this year. And for mains, then I completely put a lot of efforts to improve my answer writing because last year my main score was 701. They were both on the lower side for GS as well as for optional.
Mhm.
So I understood that I need to drastically improve my answer writing. So as I had my notes prepared, some of the notes prepared already, I reworked on that. I made notes on each and every topic which I had not done last year. My notes were staggered last year. I compiled them at one place. I ensured that I revised them multiple times. I like gave the test series very diligently,
Mhm.
like in a disciplined manner. So these were the changes that I did this year that helped me improve 119 marks in mains.
Great, sir. It is a big achievement in itself. So, if we talk about anthropology specifically, you've scored like 230 in your previous attempt, and this in the recent attempt in which you got selected, you scored 300. So, let's talk about anthropology now, and I would request you to share the screen of yours in which you have made the PPT and everything, the presentation to those who joined.
Once it.
So, but sir, I just want to know, and most of you, the students, those who have joined also, they also would want to know that why did you join, took anthropology as your optional?
Okay. Actually, when I started the preparation, so I was looking for optional. So one definitely that time many toppers were coming from anthropology as well as during my last year of college. I
Hmm.
was reading some books on genetics and like non-fiction books, so that interested me in the subject. So when I read the syllabus, when I went through some basic books, so I felt that this is a good optional in which I'm interested, and as well as there's opportunity to score well because there is scope of value addition as well as diagrams. So that was the major factor for me. But ultimately, I guess it all boils down that whatever optional you take, you have to put in effort. You have to put in 5 to 6 months, and so it does not matter much. So
Yeah,
ultimately, you
exactly.
have to prepare.
It's all of us, those who are preparing, कोई भी optional रहता है, efforts तो as you rightly said वो
Yeah,
जरूरी है, उसमें value addition जरूरी है, conceptual clarity is equally important. So
right.
now let's talk about how did you improve your score in anthropology? And what mistakes were there in your previous attempt wherein you scored 230? And what all and how you improved yourself?
Yes. So last year when I scored 230, even I was not expecting 230 to be honest. I was expecting on the lower side, but I got 230 that year because I had not covered the whole syllabus. I had my very staggered notes. I just prepared some topics from just the standard books as well as the question answer books such as Akshay Jain sir's book.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a very staggered preparation that year, and there were a very less number of revisions. Like some of the topics I covered during the month of June, like for example, archaeology, I had not done earlier, so I did it after prelims. So I had not covered my syllabus earlier, and I had very staggered notes. I had very less number of revisions. I did very less answer writing. So these were the major things. And this year I improved upon
Okay.
each and everything. I reworked on my notes, and then I did value addition, compiled them along with the notes, along with the 1 or 2 pager notes that I constantly revised again and again, so that I ensured that uh, the it ensured that the value addition which I'm using in my notes gets replicated in the exam. And I also in the test series also I tried to replicate as much as I can, and cover give the complete test in 3 hours. Like last year, I was not able to complete the paper itself. Like it was a very in the exam hall itself. I attempted some questions very fast, and the main issue which I feel was the demand. I did not meet the demand of the questions. Like major this demand thing when we talk about, we majorly talk about it in the GS, but in optional also the demand is as much important as in the GS. So if you will fulfill the demand, and then even if you have done a little value addition, so that will be a main thing is to fulfill the demand of the question. So that is the thing I worked upon this year.
Okay, sir. I like if you're since you're talking about test series, so test series का role कितना important रहता है और कितना test बच्चों को लिखना चाहिए and how much marks उसको improve करने में आपको मिलता है और कितना important है test series?
All right. सो टेस्ट सीरीज पहले तो जो आपके नोट्स हैं वो जो उसको रिवाइज करने में बहुत ज्यादा हेल्प करता है. इट हेल्प्स अ लॉट इन रिवाइजिंग योर नोट्स व्हेन यू गिव द टेस्ट. फॉर एग्जांपल द सेक्शनल टेस्ट आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो इफ यू स्टार्ट गिविंग द सेक्शनल टेस्ट, फॉर एग्जांपल दिस ईयर इफ प्रीलिम्स इज इन जून, the result will come end of June. So even like you start the test from around 20th of July. So you start revising after the result came, or the starting of July, if you start diligently, start giving the sectional test, and towards the end, like the first or second week of September, if you give the full length test, so that is very that will help you a lot. Also, the videos, for example, the current search videos along with the test series discussion. So that really helped in adding more value addition as well as the current affairs that we can use in anthropology. So these are some of the things that test series can help you.
और as a few of the students are asking कि आपके टेस्ट सीरीज में मार्क्स क्या रहते थे और आपको उससे कभी ऐसा लगा कि what were your reactions during the test series or the kind of marks that you were getting?
Uh, First of all, I would like to say that these things don't matter in the actual exam. So you have to be very detached about it. So I gave 7 to 8 tests this year uh, on the test series, and in some of the tests, like I scored really good. For example, biological anthropology, one third test I remember, those were good. But also in the archaeology test, one was which was there, I scored very low. So it happens. Like I also know that sometimes you are not able to attempt all the tests with the same vigor. Ultimately, it all boils down to what you are attempting in the exam hall. But it helps
Yes.
you to get in that frame of mind and just see that more important is to execute what strategy you have made. So if you are able to replicate that in the exam hall, so that will bore the fruit. So rather than just see if even if you are scoring average marks over here, not towards the lower side or neither towards the higher side, even if you're scoring average marks in the test, though, that is fine. Sometimes the feedback in the test series also helps you to figure out that recalibrate your strategy. But more important role of the test series is to check whether with the strategy you have made, whether you're able to execute that in the 3 hours. So, for example, I'll also like to
Okay.
add in this that, for example, I this year I analyzed a lot of toppers copy of the last year. For example, Wasim Ahmed Bhatt sir and Asad Zubairi sir, Dwej Goel sir. So I tried to
Mm.
some of those match my writing style also. So I formulated a strategy after from my notes from the past year's mistake as well as analyzing the toppers copy.
Okay.
So from that, I made a strategy of attempting the tests, and I tried to ensure that those things are executed in the test series. So those are more important.
And sir, test series ka when you go and take the test, and after that you listen to the discussions of the test. So uska importance kitna hai? Because sometimes though the aspirants who are writing the test series, they skip one test or the other, and then they tend to skip the discussion also. So could you please shed some light on the discussion also? So how was it, and how did it help you to add more content to your answers?
It's fine even if you miss some tests. So even if you feel like you have scored, if you attempted the test well, your score is fine. So then you might not need to put too much effort towards that. But sometimes if you feel like that this topic is I'm weak in, or for example, if there is some friend who is also along with you giving the test series, or sometimes he watches or he suggests, so that helps. For example, this year I watched the theories videos more very diligently. It helped me in adding some validation in the theories, and then the Indian anthropology test that was there, the videos, village studies, and the caste studies, the case studies. That discussion was really helpful. So I used that a lot in this year's exam. For example, the question on other backward classes that was there, the definition of OBCs by Mark
Hmm.
Galanter. So that was, I got it from the test series discussion video. So I began my answer with that. So these things help. So basically, when you're enrolling in a test series, so you should do it diligently and in a disciplined manner. Just join one test series and do it completely.
And what is the role of the foundation course in anthropology? Like, would you recommend students for the foundation also, other than the test series, to have the conceptual clarity? Because it is the students who just want to begin anthropology now. So, what role does the foundation course play?
I think that in the optional, especially when it is not a graduation subject, a foundation program is needed. So I was a part of VATS ICS. So at that time, in 2020, so I enrolled in their foundation program. So that foundation program is important. So I think it does not matter. There are plethora of options, but it helps. So, but even if you are feeling like there are sometimes there are financial constraints and some other reasons, so you can uh, even if you like analyze the toppers copy, get the notes, toppers notes. For example, last year Lagima Tiwari ma'am's notes were there. So these are the things that help.
Okay. Now let's take few questions. I will begin with there's this question by Ahmad Tamboli. How to attempt glottoclonology bouncer type questions, and which questions you selected in paper one?
Actually, that was not a bouncer question because that was a question asked by Karan sir in one of the tests. So that was not a bouncer question for me. So I watched
It's
the
already
test discussion video of that test, especially even coming back to the previous question, like what to watch. like these are the questions in the test series. Like you have don't have notes for such type of questions, so you can watch that part of the discussion videos and make notes out of it. So this is again where the test series helps.
Okay.
And the test series, like the advanced test series, which Karan sir puts question. So these things help. So that was not a bouncer question for me. I prepared the notes from the test series discussion, and then I referred another source, standard source. I guess it was also there in Ember and Ember or some other book. I googled it. Even I
Mhm.
used Chat GPT for it as far as I can remember, and I made a one pager on it. And fortunately, that question came in the exam, and I was able to attempt it well.
Okay, and what was the current affairs source for anthropology? She's asking.
Current affairs source, there are many some Telegram channels so that
Mhm.
you can refer to. I'll share that also. Also, I was a bit innovative in when it came to anthropology current affairs. So Twitter was the only social media that I used. So I followed a lot of channels, anthropology handles on Twitter. So I went through
Mhm.
that. For example, for archaeology, those were really helpful. For example, Chris Stringer is one of the great paleoanthropologists and archaeologists. I followed him, and then one of the Indian archaeologists, Shanti Pappu from she has a handle. She puts in a lot of things on her handle. So these are some of the things I did, and from where if something new discovery or something I felt that I can use it in my answers, so I used to compile that, and then I used to add them in my notes.
Okay. Uh, I think Sir has addressed the question and answer. Now let me see some other doubt. Yes, one doubt is the name is not mentioned, but I'll just read the doubt. It's that do we have to write answer in simple language or the textual or book one? So it is about the answer writing. So what kind of language did you use? Was it very textual or was it a simple language?
See, you have to attempt 19 questions, and they cannot be in a monotonous language because you might be well aware. Like, for example, I said I had a handy definition of a scholar in some questions, while in some others, I
Hmm.
did not have that. So the most important thing is to meet the demand of the question. So what content do you have? Even if you have a simple content, if you meet to address meet the demand of the question, so that will do the 50% of the job. Even then, if you have the value addition, so that will like the icing on the cake. So these things work like that in the answer
Yeah.
writing. So you don't have to fret about like the fancy language or something. You just have to
Hmm.
meet the demand of the question, and there is a language of every subject. So you have to use some basic keywords or terminology like anthropology, like sociocultural anthropology has some other terms, Indian anthropology, the caste, the village studies. So they have some different like keywords. So try to use them. So you should look like that you have studied anthropology. It should not be a GS type answer, but English wise or some other, it does not have to be very fancy language. It has to be simple and it has to meet the demand.
Yeah, and I would also like to add that with more practice and with more answer writings, you yourself will get the kind of language that you are thinking of. because बार बार अगर आप anthropology के answers attempt करेंगे तो you will get that terminology. तो वो अपने आप ही answers में reflect होने लग जाती है, I believe.
Right,
And this
right.
Navid is asking that what difference did you make in answer writing to get an edge in model answers usually given in topper books and notes?
To be honest, I did not refer to any other book except Akshay Jain sir's book, and it helps you to make a structure of certain questions. For example, the archaeology part, like using the diagrams and stuff. But ultimately, I think you have to figure out your own strategy in this. Like for
Yeah.
some topics, you can refer, but again, as I said, I did the same mistake in 2022. So try to formulate your own notes in by your own hand. Even if you're referring some toppers notes or some book, so try to make your own notes, and then try to revise them multiple times.
Okay, how do you choose which questions to attempt? And if some topics are more rewarding, like physical anthropology, so usme, how did you make that choice?
Uh, yes, that's a very apt question, especially when it came to this year's attempt, my this year's attempt. For example, in the paper one, so there was one question number two, and there was again a question number three. So in question number second question of this year's paper one, so there were two questions, one from archaeology and one from fossil evidence. And in the other, uh, like there was one socio question, and then there was a theoretical question of longitudinal studies. So I had to make a choice. So I preferred the Australopithecus question this year because I had the diagram. I remembered I had practiced the diagrams and the map where the fossils were found and all those things. So I preferred that question. It was a 20 marker, so I felt that if I attempted it, and also I had less time because in the other questions I had given some more time. So I had around 28 minutes, as far as I can remember. So it was around 7 to 8 minutes short. What is the ideal time? So I had to hurry also. So I figured that if I attempt this question, first it will look a value addition because I'll add diagrams. Second, it will save me time because the diagrams and the maps will help me cover the space and as well as meet the demand of the question. So even the second question was of archaeology, in which I made map and the tools about the Paleolithic environment. So that choice, so it helps, but ultimately I think it all depends on which strong area you have. So if you feel that you have the strength, your strong point is sociocultural anthropology, you can attempt that. So sometimes some top students feel that biological anthropology, those from technical background, they feel that they don't, biological anthropology is not their strong area. So ultimately, it boils down to that. But if you have prepared all the areas equally, like if you have notes, so you can prefer biological anthropology.
Okay, so there's this doubt by Harish Kumar. He's asking that anthropology preparation during mains, how to strategize that, and notes making particularly should be bulky or each topic with 1 or 2 pages would be sufficient. So that end up of having around 200 to 250 pages for each paper.
Yes, coming to the second part first. Yes, ultimately you should have those much notes which you can revise in the 5 days, because ultimately you have to do multiple revisions, especially after the Sunday you have given GS4, then you have to come back home, then you will take rest, and then you have around 4 days because
Yeah.
on Friday you will again travel, I guess, where your exam hall is. So you have to again revise the whole anthropology syllabus in those 4 days, 4.5 days. So your notes should be such that you are able to revise them at least two times.
Yeah.
So that is the figure. You can make your notes accordingly. If I guess you will be able to see. So these are the notes, around 50 to 60 page notes of tribal anthropology, and similar is for Indian anthropology. So around 100 to 125 page for paper two, and paper one is a bit lengthy, so around 150 to 160. So around 250 to 60 pages notes for revision. So this is the thing that is required.
Okay, and what is the importance of mock test during the mains? Like if only 95 days ka time period is given, or usse be around 90 days only, for example. So usme what is the importance of mock test? And as we discussed about the test series in general.
Definitely, as I said that this year, what did I change in my main strategy in that those 90 days period was I daily wrote the test. I daily wrote answers. But initially, I wrote around 3 to 4 answers of GS and as well as optional. Then I started giving tests. Then from around 1st August, I ensured that I attempted, like, be it PYQ, be it previous year paper of GS and optional, or be it test. So all combined, I ensured that I gave a 3 hour test in the morning every day from 1st of August. So basically, if you will see around, I think I gave around 45 tests combined of GS and optional. So
Okay.
that really helps you build your muscle power, your writing speed, and gain the multiple revisions thing. So that thing helped for me. That thing worked for me this year when it came to answer writing. So definitely tests, be it mock test, be it previous year. You can also attempt the previous year question. Like you can keep a timer 3 hour, and you can attempt the whole paper in 3 hours, previous year paper. So that thing really helps.
Okay, so I would just like to tell those who have joined us that we at LevelUp IAS will also be beginning the test series, and we will let you know about the dates and everything. And the foundation course of Karan Sir of Anthropology will be beginning from 20 of May. So the details further would be shared on the platform of LevelUp only. So let's take another question, which is by Mahmood. Mahmood is saying that good evening, sir. मेरी age 27 years है और क्या मैं अब सिविल सर्विस एग्जामिनेशन के लिए प्रिपरेशन कर सकता हूँ सर? मुझे लगता है बहुत लेट हो गया है अब, मुश्किल है और मुझे जीरो लेवल से स्टार्ट करना है प्रिपरेशन क्योंकि मेरा एजुकेशन रिमोटेस्ट एरिया से है. So what would you want to tell?
Firstly, I think age does not matter because even the UPSC has given the age criteria of 32 years. So I guess because initially sometimes some people don't get the opportunity and at the right time and like right awareness at the right time. So sometimes one can get late, but I think that at which age you are, don't risk it too much with the full time preparation. Try to get a job and then do the preparation along with it. So even if you're disciplined enough, like it might take a bit more time, but if you consistently put 5 to 6 hours on the weekdays and around 9 to 10 hours or even 11 to 12 hours in the weekends, so you can cover the basic syllabus thoroughly. So my suggestion would be that don't prepare full time at this age.
Okay, so I
Ultimately, but
think
ultimately, it's your decision to make.
someone is asking that how to start preparation for 2025, how to read too many books that topper mentions, and how to manage with GS preparation.
Uh, Firstly, you have to understand that there are as many resources, as many rankers and toppers that are there. So you don't have to be a collector of each and every resource that comes in the market. You have to be a district collector. And for that, you just need to identify one source for every subject. And for example, in optional, for every partial subject or one uh, part, I can say. So no resource is good or and no resource is bad. So you have to analyze and just pick a resource and then stick to it. So one thing that I have done in my 3 attempts, that my resources are same in all the standards resources are same throughout these 3 attempts. So nothing changes. So you have just
Mhm.
few things here and there, more revisions and picking up the right things and making the notes. So these are the things that ultimately matter rather than going for too many resources.
Okay. Sumit is asking that how to initiate the preparation of anthropology having non-bio background. And did you follow any basic books for the anthro?
Yes, even I come from engineering background, but if you have the interest in genetics and uh, like the basic biological anthropology that is there, so you can do good in it because you don't have to delve too much into it. And for for the initial conceptual clarity, if you feel like there are a plethora of YouTube videos of many channels like and many animated videos as well that help you understand the concepts of biology, so go through them. If you feel like that you're
Mhm.
not getting the hang of the thing by reading the books, you can watch the videos. So I think it's
Mhm.
not that difficult because it's once you read and when once you watch the video, you will understand the concept.
Okay.
And
Uh,
for coming to the second part, the resources, I followed VNAT for some part, and for some part, I think I followed Ember and Ember for some topics. So you have to be selective, like what kind of notes you are able to make from one source. No resource is full in itself, so you have to just try a bit here and there, or just when you're not getting anything from any source, just Google it. So Google it, or today Chat GPT is there, put it on that, so you will get the answer for it. So the sources, I for biological anthropology, I refer to them, and some certain YouTube videos.
okay, okay. Sir, Yash is asking that from where you were collecting the case studies and examples. And since you scored very great marks in paper two, so how did you prepare for paper two? Like what extra things that you did, the value addition?
Yes, again, as I said, that in this year paper two, the especially for Indian anthropology, Karan sir's that videos on case studies and the village studies really helped me in adding the value addition. So that was really helpful, which I used throughout my paper two, like be it the latest scholars such as Christopher Jefferlot, and be it the earlier scholars Louis Dumont and others. So I tried to inculcate them in my answers,
Mm-hmm.
and I also made notes from that, from the test series discussion videos. So that was one of the things that I changed in paper two, in attempting paper two. And for case studies for tribal anthropology part, I used to collect the like I had on my iPad. I had the topics segregated, like by analyzing the PYQs as well as syllabus, and whichever news I came across, I used to read the digital newspaper. So I used to take a screenshot and add, and then I used to make a pair out of it for each topic. So those case studies I tried to add in the tribal anthropology part.
Someone is asking that in present context, how crucial are PYQs in anthropology if we talk about?
I guess the PYQs are all pervasive and relevant. Not in the present context, they have been relevant throughout the inception of UPSC. So they because PYQs help you understand what how the trend is changing, what UPSC is shifting to. For example, now more applied questions are asked. So what like there are certain minor modifications you need to make in your notes according to the PYQs, because the basic definition or the basic introductions will remain the same, the conclusions almost will remain the same. So in the body part, like to meet the demand of the question, sometimes you need to understand that what UPSC is asking nowadays, and you have to make your notes accordingly. So PYQs are a great resource to understand what UPSC wants from you and how to make notes.
Okay, so since we see that the screen has been shared, so there's this, if we talk specifically about answer writing, so this will help those who are just thinking of preparing of anthropology or who are in the middle of their preparation. So they should realize ki, what kind of answer sir has written, and since he has got great marks in anthropology, so you can see, so please, could you please explain about the kind of structure and what all you've added in your answers?
Yes. So, for example, this is a direct PYQ that was asked. So, the test series also helps you cover certain PYQs. So, secular trends, basically, I have introduced the definition. Like, I have in the introduction, I have directly given the definition of secular trends. And along with that, I have given example. So, starting with the introduction, I have tried to directly address what is being asked, like what is secular trend, what is example, and then then I have tried to just add a flow chart that they have asked, like to show that how many types of secular trends are there. Even they have asked about it. Then I have segregated all the three. It's like the question asks what is the positive secular trend, negative, and what is neutral. So I have tried to answer it all with examples and case studies. So I remember I had this was a new question in 2020, and then after analyzing the PYQ, I made notes of it. So again, coming back to the previous question, why or how PYQs are helpful. So you have to make
Yeah.
notes according to the PYQs. So this topic is clearly when I googled it. This topic was clearly given in the EPG Pathshala. So I opened it. I made notes out of it. These all case studies are from that resource, EPG Pathshala. So I
Mm-hmm.
added them in notes, and then after multiple revisions, I was able to replicate all of these in the test. And even if this question had come in the exam, this would have been replicated over there. So it's basic demand is met in this question. Introduction is fine. Examples are given. Scholarly case studies, the research papers are given. So these are the things that needed to answer the question, like scoring around 13 to 14 marks in 20 marker, or if it had been a 15 marker, so 8 to 9 marks in the 15 marker.
Yeah,
I'll also
I can
share
see that
the
you
full
scored
test.
around 13 marks you scored in this question also.
Yeah,
And it's very important for great to structure your answer well. And you said that after you addressed all the demand of the question, it's talking about the positives, negatives, and the neutral thing. You included the case studies as we can see, और उसके बाद में you did the concluded the answer very well. You did the introduction very well. So ये सब चीजें I think it comes with the practice only. And I will just want to tell those who have just joined that Karan sir का जो foundation course है, in that also he makes student write answer daily, like in alternate days where you can get your answers evaluated. You can do the PYQs also; they can be evaluated as well. So answer writing plays an important role, I think, in getting good marks in anthropology. Right, sir?
definitely answer writing. Be it mains is all about answer writing. Revision, and answer writing.
Yeah.
That is the crux, basic crux. If someone wants to listen, although it seems very basic, but it's a very toiling journey. But the basic, if two
Yes.
words I would like to say about cracking the mains, it's just revision and answer writing.
Okay, sir. Someone is asking that how to start preparation for 2025 and how to read too many books that topper mentions and how to manage with GS preparation. So I think this is more important. How to manage your optional with GS preparation and those who are aspiring for 2025. How should they do both?
So I think that you should start your preparation. One, don't segregate it. That firstly I'll do the optional and then I'll do the GS, because I think that all the things are interrelated somehow. Like some of the things which we study in GS, we can use it here, and some of the things we study in optional, we can use it in. For example, the society part of GS1 overlaps quite a lot with our
Mhm.
the Indian anthropology part, the 3.2 topic which is there in the syllabus. So don't
Mhm.
segregate your preparation that this much. Start your preparation. Just pick one subject of GS and pick your optional along with it. So I did that. So I picked the optional, and then also I started like doing the polity along with it. So you can easily manage in the beginning. Where if you're preparing full time, so then definitely you can give around 4 hours to optional and 4 hours to GS. If you're giving 8 hours, and if you're giving more hours, you can add the hours to both of them accordingly.
Okay. One question that is constantly is popped up here is by Rishabh. He's asking how many days of leave did you avail before prelims and mains, and how was your study routine while being in job? I think Rishabh is also working somewhere और बहुत ज़्यादा उनको ये जानना बहुत ज़रूरी है. So could you please address this question?
Sure. So last year prelims was on 20th May, and I had taken EL from I guess 22nd May, Monday to Friday, with the prefix and suffix. If you are in a government job, you should know that you can add the prefix and suffix. So I took a flight on 20th May. I reached home on 21st May, and the prelims was on 28th May. So 5 days of leave, 5 to 6 days I had taken before the prelims. Before that, I had the prelims preparation was along with the job. For
Hmm.
mains also, I had around 35 leaves, I guess, and I took them. And but I joined a library uh, after the prelims result came. Where I was posted, I went to the library after my job hours at 5, and I used to sit there till the library was 24 hours library, fortunately, and I used to sit
Hmm.
as much time as I could. So initial around July to August also, I can, as far as I can remember, it was along with the job. And after that, towards the end, you can take the leave. If you have the leaves, you can take it from, like, I guess, half of the mains preparation you can do with the job, and half you can take the leave if you have the leaves. Even if you don't have the leaves, you can uh, try to manage your time better with the job, and then afterwards, the towards the last end, because you have to get in the zone, that exam zone. So then you can take the leave and just fully just get into this.
Okay. Now, one is asking Radhika Krishna how to self-evaluate my questions, both GS and optional. Because sometimes self-evaluation is also very important. आप अपने progress को कैसे evaluate कर सकते हैं? We keep on writing tests, we keep on preparing, we keep on doing the hard work, but there are times when we need to self-evaluate our preparation and answers. How did you do that?
Definitely. I'm sorry, I forgot to add this. What I changed this year, I self-analyzed my test, every test that I wrote. As I said, I wrote around 40-45 tests. I self-analyzed. I wrote a test of 3 hours. Then I gave 1.5 hours to self-analyze the test. Even I used to keep a red pen, and I used to
Hmm.
check my answer. And I was very strict with my checking. Like, I used to see if both with the GS and optional I'm talking about here. I used to
Okay.
see that, okay, this introduction is fine. Okay, this is hitting the question what is being asked. Then, okay, I have put in the headings. I have put in the points which are meeting the demands. I've given examples. So I had set my parameter, like in the 10 marker in the GS, I would give the maximum marks to 3.5 to myself. That was my self evaluation. So you can make your own evaluation parameters, and definitely you should self evaluation is very important. Like, just not only giving the test, but self evaluating them is equally important.
Okay. How, Yash is asking how to mug up name of books with scholars.
Again, multiple revisions. If you have the limited number of books topic wise, and if you are revising them again and again, then you will be able to recall it. So there's no shortcut for it. You can make mnemonics, and there are a plethora of techniques, psychological tricks to remember. But ultimately, you have to remember these if you have to value add in your answers.
Karthisha is asking that if everyone uses same resources and does same things, same examples and answers, so how does someone's paper unique or helps to get that extra marks?
I think even if you will look at this, if which institute, or even if your friend has the same optional, if you will analyze, two copies will look very different. If even if you have used the same examples,
Yeah.
so every copy is already unique in itself. You don't need to take too much stress about it, that this example is already being used. The
Hmm.
main thing is to meet the demand of the question. Using that example at the right place is more important than fretting about that this example is being used by someone else.
Yes.
Even if that happens, that will affect, I guess, not even affect, even if it affects, that will affect only half a mark, I feel. More important is you're meeting the demand of the question and you're using that at the right place. That is more important. So you don't need to worry about it.
One is asking at which point you were sure that you could give tests for prelims and mains both. So it will start with prelims ki, because people are confused. अब वो content हो जाता है, but test कब attempt करना है and mains and optional specifically.
Both, I feel, you will forever, every time you will feel that you are not ready to give the test. Even I have
Hmm.
talked to the aspirants this year after clearing.
Hmm.
All are thinking that they have not revised that much that they will be able to give a test. So I think that should not be much of a concern, because ultimately that practice will happen only if you give the test, be it prelims, be it mains. So I remember in my first prelims, again, I put it also on my Telegram channel that I did not give mock test, thinking about this thing that I have not revised, and how can I give the tests. So again, that was a blunder I made. I was not able to build my confidence on how many questions I should attempt. I was not able to develop an analytical approach, and ultimately I ended up attempting around 81 questions. So even if I had attempted more questions, so that would help me sail through in the first prelims itself. So, so tests, mock tests are, you should not think that I'm talking about prelims. Firstly, that mock tests are not a test of your what preparation you have made and like that. It should be a part of your revision strategy. If you will think like that, you will not worry too much about that you have not revised. You should consider them as a part of your revision strategy, because when you will attempt the test in the morning, in the prelims time, and the
Hmm.
time in which the prelims is held, and when you will see that okay, you're able to recall this much and you're not able to recall these facts, when you will visit them again, so it will help you better revise and rationalize your revision, because some things you are able to recall, you will revise them quickly if you look them at again, and some things which are like more you are not able to recall, you will put in more effort and then you will be able to later recall. So that is a part of your revision strategy. So you should think about
Uh,
mock tests like that. Even in the case of mains, this thing applies. But prelims, in the case of prelims, you are able to still give some tests, but you're not able to pick up pen and start writing answers, because there's a lot of inertia, and every time it will come. Even after mains, I had a break of 1 month, and even I had that inertia. So don't worry about it. Pick a pen. Start, if you are not able to write a full length test, start from writing 3 to 5 questions, and slowly, just even after a week, just start writing a test. As I said, this year after prelims, I started attempting 3 to 5 questions daily. And then afterwards, from August, I started giving full length tests daily. In between July also I gave, but from 1st August, that was my routine. Daily I used to write a 3 hour test, be it PYQ, be it a test series of GS and optional.
and how did you deal with the kind of anxiety that you had before your optional exam? With your mentor, were you in constant conversation with him, or how were you dealing with this stress?
Not before the exam, just during the initial till July, I think I interacted. After that, I did not, because I had given the test and I was like, I thought that I was fine, and I was revising my notes again and again, like which timetable I had schedule I had planned. So definitely those 5 days a bit nervous, because you have to revise the whole syllabus. So sometimes you feel like, so on Monday you feel like you have a lot of time. You revise a bit slowly on Tuesday, and when it comes to Wednesday evening, there's a rush that you need to revise a lot. So that thing happens, but ultimately you're able to, like, the nerves settle down if you have initially given the test, practice answer writing, and you have revised. So this year, I was a lot more confident about my preparation in optional. So even I even after glancing a few pages, I was able to recall just before the night of the exam. So
And I think it
ultimately, I
comes
think
from
this
practice
helps.
and answer writing,
Yes,
and more you will
yes,
do, more you will have everything in your mind. And
definitely, definitely.
how was your experience at LevelUp IAS, if you want to tell all those who are joining? Because few people
Uh,
are confused, and I can see these messages and foundation course, anthro course. They're asking about current. So,
Uh, I think whatever experience I have had with Level Up in the test series program, after 2023, when I came out of exam, I had one regret that why I did not join the test series program last year in 2022. It might have helped me score better in the last year itself. That was my thought process at that time. So
Mhm.
definitely, it has helped me in the value addition as well as not even value addition, because sometimes some discussions help you build the confidence. For example, the Arjun Appadurai question that was there. So
Yes.
even that was discussed by sir in one of the test discussion. Test one, I feel it was there, test one or two. So even I remembered the content, but I was not confident that I can write the 20 marker on it. But that
Mhm.
helped me psychologically that I was not afraid during the exam hall. If, for example, if I had not heard the name of Arjun Appadrai beforehand, I would have like panicked in the exam hall.
Mhm.
So these are some of the things that help along with the value addition. This was one of the experience which I felt when I came out of paper one, that I would have panicked if I would not have heard this name. So that helped me this year.
So, sir, before like we end this conversation with you, I just want to ask, how are you going to use the knowledge that you've gained in anthropology in the field when you will be working in the field? So, what have you thought? How are you going to use it, and how has it helped you?
I think anthropology has made me very like the cultural sensitivity when I have went to many states, when I went on trips. That cultural sensitivity develops, uh, especially after reading anthropology. So even if you get a cadre other than your state, so that thing is definitely going to help. So anthropology plays quite a role in that. Secondly, I think the knowledge, whatever knowledge, the social, basically, it is a part of social sciences and it covers a plethora of social sciences in one subject. It is a very holistic subject. So
Mhm.
that helps you be a better person and be a better officer, I feel. So anthropology is a very good subject overall. So it will help you. It will help you shape yourself into a better human and a better officer.
That's great. I think sir would be very happy to listen this from you that anthropology is going to help you more in the field, right? Thank you so much for your time. And I think most of the queries have been addressed, and we are very grateful to have you at LevelUp IAS, and you since you've been joined with us. And thank you so much, sir, for sharing your strategy and your valuable insights into anthropology to us. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
Thank you.
Uh, yeah, yes, there will be a batch after prelims also, and the new batch in this year is starting from 20th of May, and after that also we will just let you know when the another batch is starting. So as sir told about the answer writing and everything in foundation course also, this answer writing thing happens, and with every topic, with everything, you are free to write answers. Your answers will be evaluated on time, and everything is there. So you can reach out to our team for more queries if you have, and they will reply you accordingly. Yes, sir. So Himanshu, we will let you know about the copies also. You can reach out to the team for that. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
And all the best to those who are going to give 2024 attempt, and just wishing you good luck. Thank you.